like the two circles of stomp, while the Mirana gets stunned up on the top lane, doing a lot of, well, some damage to Sven with that Starstorm, and get used. Meanwhile, at bottom, glimpse back onto the Winter Wyvern. There's going to be another stomp in by the Elder Titan. There's a Sunstrike. They whip the Wyvern up, but he will not stay alive for long. He's going to get smacked down by the sun.
And this is where you got to be real careful. Even though the kills are fairly close, because the Soggy do have so much farm on their side, even the support's dying gives them quite a bit of gold.
He's going to get the egg on his face, and the stomp is missed by a little bit by the Elder Titan, getting up by the Supernova. But there's a glimpse onto the Timbersaw, and Timbersaw going to get absolutely wrecked here by Not Today. They're going to take a couple kills here. They're going to possibly find something else on the map. They're moving that Radiant jungle, and the Elder Titan just places down an observer ward. Here the jungle camp.
So then commits his ultimate, is trying to do some damage to the top tower, makes Not Today use it to fortify, and this is where they gotta be real careful. And those last two deaths from Wyvern and Timbersaw together was more than a 1,400 gold swing back to Not Today's favor. They gotta be real careful giving up these pickoffs, which is, well, they want to farm, but with Elder Titan Disruptor, they have to be very careful with it.
Talking about gold swings, we may as well look at the XP and gold graphs right now. XP and gold a little bit in favor of Soggy Mitts right now. It's definitely not by much, and that was a sharp swing, as you said, the way of Not Today.
And there's a Midas picked up on Elder Titan as well, so it looks like they might not be in a rush in this game either. They're feeling pretty confident and just farming up and taking it longer as well.
They've had the impacts a little bit miscalled here. Not Today. Nice timing right now. Starting to really come into their own.
And there's a Blink Dagger up on Starter as well, so their ability to fight is actually jumped up quite a bit, where his mobility was definitely hurting him in previous fights. He can farm a little safer, he can because he can retreat and not be caught quite as easily, and can initiate much better as well.
Also worth noting that the Juggernaut has finally finished up his Battle Fury, and the Phoenix has that Rod of 8. A couple of items being finished up for Soggy Mitts, but Not Today definitely have the better utility. Interesting wards placed up here. A sentry ward placed that does see Radiant our observer here. The rest of our team taking the top tower. Not going to get denied here, and Invoker will take it. It's just Juggernaut trying to pick up the pieces at top. Oh, blink in by Benchaz. They're going to go right on the Juggernaut. Juggernaut almost done, and he will. He tries to spin, but it is not enough. Sven is doing quite a bit of damage, but he has gotten cold snapped up. He's getting kited here, and this is exactly what you do not want as a Sven. Looking at that minus armor, here comes the Phoenix. Scree call, there's a bird, and the Winter's Curse will also go on to Benchaz, getting hit by the ball, and he is going to get stunned up for it. However, meanwhile, in the back of this fight, Sven almost down. There is going to be that Echo Stomp hitting, and the ultimate will finish off the Sven. Look at that beautiful armlet toggling by Benjaz. Unfortunately, does get taken down by the Timbersaw, and now it's just Elder Titan and Invoker against the Timbersaw, trying to fight the man that doesn't like the trees at all. He goes into a little bit of a corner here, and the Timber Chain not going to help him out a whole lot, and he's getting stuck in the trees by the Elder Titan. He's trying to take him out, trying to take everything down, but this Timbersaw is out of mana, and he may get away from this. Reactive armor a little bit strong. Oh, there the Sunstrike just off the mark.
And that was in that fight. I think that XD on ET played fantastically. Like you said, a fantastic armor toggle from the Slardar, but that sleep and the ultimate on the Sven in the back lines was just fantastic. Really salvaging that fight for the whole team.
Flying down a little bit here. The game is pretty close right now. I mean, with that fight, it seems like Not Today. They're playing pretty well, and this Elder Titan is showing its use pretty highly here.
He maxed out that natural order, and he's going for the Yules now as well. Yules down on the Invoker. They have a lot of utility and a lot of control for these fights now. But they still have to be careful not to get overconfident. If they group up too much, one Vibrant Ultimate and can instantly kill one of their cores, follow up with the Phoenix Ult, and the Sven damage can still be very, very scary. Meanwhile, they're split pushing and pressuring bottom. Invoker should be able to take that tower. And Sven going on the ET middle. Fast initiation.
Yeah,
Ooh, he
lots of
tries to
damage
pull
by
off
the
that
Sven.
stomp, but not quite enough. And he's going for a crit. He almost has his Daedalus completed. Not going for any BKB. He's not scared. He just wants to blow them up as quickly as possible. Another fight could be happening here. Atos, the Slardar.
Yeah, Slardar comes in with a double crush, but the Sven is just going to hit him down. There's a nice Winner's Curse onto the Disruptor, getting taken down by the Invoker, but it's probably not going to be enough damage. Timbersaw is able to finish off the Slardar, but Invoke... Okay, so the Mirana does quite a bit of damage. The Phoenix Egg is going to get used. Here comes the arrow. It will not hit. Fight a little bit split up here, and Vio style on the Invoker. He'll blink forward, goes right for the Phoenix. There's going to be a cold snap there, and the Chakram will do a little bit of damage onto the Invoker, and the Phoenix is going to eventually get finished off by the Magic Man. That's quite a few kills by Not Today.
Very nice. Up until that Phoenix pickoff was a pretty even fight, but that definitely goes quite a little bit in favor and Not Today. With Phoenix getting picked off, it was maybe looking to counter initiate on Mirana, which was completely out of mana, kind of sitting a little too close, and Invoker came in just in time to take advantage of it. Now, Bloodstone is the Daedalus is completed on the Sven. Bloodstone is completed on the Timber. Timber really hasn't gotten that big yet, and I'm not sure if Not Today are just not scared of him or just not worried, because you give another Timber another 15 minutes and he gets up with Ags or Nocturne or some other items, his damage output can become very scary as well. Oh, Omni Slash by the Jug.
Onto the Elder Titan, and the spin will finish the big guy off. So Juggernaut is able to find a kill, and Soggy Mist, they're going to go right for the Roshan. They are not waiting at all. They're going to go right for the guy with a couple swords stuck in his back already.
And Mirana's up top. Boots of Travel are almost up cooldown. Let's see if Not Today is going to want to contest. Starter's coming in on bottom. Looks like he's just going to buy a TP that's still in cooldown. I'm not sure if they know this. And they just got de-awarded, but maybe they're just not expecting such a Roshan to respawn just yet.
It's a pretty good time for the Roshan to respawn, so I think they may have had some idea, but their ward may not have given the best vision. So they let the Roshan go, and they do take out the tier 2. Don't get nothing for this. Not the best. Mirana boosted travels over to bottom, and Timbersaw, he's probably not scared of this girl at all. She is riding around on the mount thing. Oh, meanwhile, the Sparta was able to out the Mirana ult. Not Today, just all over the map right now. A little bit of damage to the top tier 3 tower, but kind of interesting all the things that were going around the map for them.
I mean, Not Today still has all their tier 2s up. They have 2 Midases on their team. Mirana starting to get big as well. So both teams are capable of scaling. But Sven is still leading the charts, and they have the Aegis to see if what Soggy Mist wants to do, how they want to take advantage of this opportunity. Because this is basically, they have a lot more room for error in the fight with the Aegis, and they can throw life away as long as they do a little bit of damage and still trade extremely well. I think Not Today is going to try to want to avoid a fight against them unless in a defensive position, or if they can get a pick off first. But you can see it.
Do well with their push bottom.
Right now they force him to separate, so Timbersaw, no, he jumps back out, but they've kind of forced him to spread out, like I said, because they're all laser pushed in. Soggy Mist are all split up a little bit around the map, and they might try to look for a pick off here.
That we haven't really talked a whole lot. Timbersaw is at the Bloodstone at charges, and doing pretty well since the pickup of that item.
Yeah, hasn't died at all. Both teams use their scans there. Not that they just found out where a couple of heroes are. They did see Sven up top, and they know that he doesn't have a TP scroll, so they know that he can't reinforce too quickly. So if they see him in lane somewhere, they may try to go in on a kill.
Oh, Juggernaut very far up there. There's going to be a crush in by the Slardar, and there's Sunstrike. Oh, look at the Juggernaut just get absolutely chunked down. The Slardar is able to find the kill. Meanwhile, on the other side, this Disruptor finds the Static Storm on the way of Wyvern. Another crush by Benchaz. He gets a double kill, and there's going to be a nice glimpse back on the Timbersaw. Gets to blink out, but he's going to get Yuled up into the air by the Invoker. Meatball down from the sky. Kinetic Field, you're not going anywhere, bud. That's going to be Weavstar on the monster kill streak, and 3 down with only the Mirana dying on the side of Not Today.
God's hand, the Sven got the Mirana up top. She could have gotten away, but she didn't leave just in time. But this is a great trade for not today, of course. With Sven not having a teleport scroll, not being able to reinforce, it was a perfect way to take advantage of the situation. And now they can buy a lot of time. They only have 2 minutes left on the Aegis, and it's going to be very difficult for Soggy to get much value out of it at this point. And Sven, also very interesting for me, Slaughter going for more mobility, not going for a BKB or an AC, getting that Blink and Force staff. So really has really long range initiation, mobility, split push real well, and like you saw that fight, have real long range initiation on the Juggernaut and the follow up and Disruptor as well. Really paying for itself very fast.
Amazing how the Disruptor was able to find the Glimpseback heroes and found a hero with the form, the Winter Wyvern, and Sparta was just right there with a slide and a crush to be able to finish that one off. A great item for him.
And you can see how not having a Midas or Phoenix is kind of slowing down a lot. After that Atos, he has not picked up a single item. A lot of times, in like a Shiva's or something in that regard, and he's just not scaling whatsoever. He's just taking over all the support. BKB down on the Sven now. They still have the Aegis for how long do they have left on it? About 30-40 seconds left on it, I believe.
No, as Soggy missed for pushing down the mid lane, not today put a little bit of damage on the tier 3 tower, just softening it up.
Again, they don't want to fight directly on them with the Aegis. It's going to be very difficult to get a favorable engagement, so they're just waiting for that to expire before they really try to deal with the Sven at all. But they did give up the tier 2, so I feel like Soggyman's got a little bit of value out of that. That was their first tier 2 of the whole game, whereas not today. I was already starting to hit high ground towers. The tier 3 bottom and down to 310 health for Soggyman, and their top tier 3 is about 400 damage as well.
On her next item, gotten the goes with for that item.
It could be a couple of things. A Hex would be really good for them to get some more lockdown and control. But there's a few options. I don't imagine she would go for Silver Edge, but I really like it against both Juggernaut and Sven, removing their crit, removing their cleave damage, which can be quite impactful in team fights. She may just choose to go for. Yeah, it looks like she's going for the Hex. That's the most likely one. Lincoln is also a possibility, but they probably want her to have that utility. Going for an arrow
on the top lane. The arrow right there, and Invoker is blink away, and this dust is by the Radiant. But once again, it's not today. Just pulling Soggy mitts all over the map, and look at this. Disruptor already pushed the bottom, and he had a little bit of help from the Sparta, of course.
Booster travel up on the Sven, so even BKB booster travel, he'll be able to reinforce a lot quicker. He's teleporting top. It looks like they might want to commit that tier 2. Meanwhile, Benjaz is still pushing in the bottom.
Oh, there's going to be a meatball onto the Juggernaut. He's going to get a nice cold embrace from the Wyvern. Oh, arrow going to be slightly off the mark and late. And oh, here comes Mirana with the double Starstorm fall onto the Winter Wyvern, and a nice blink away by the Mirana is going to avoid that Sven stun. That's probably a good choice. Bottom. Especially with not today going in bottom. They take the kill on the Winter Wyvern. They are no longer scared to go high ground against this team. Sparta just taking down that tier 3 tower. Here they go onto the racks. See the Rod of Atos used. And Benjaz taking a lot of damage from the laser. They're almost taking that melee racks down. It is almost done. And the Mirana's just going to sit there and take it down with her little arrows. Sunstrike was going to be there on to, well, nobody, as the Winter Wyvern is going to get out of range. But what a beautiful static storm by the Disruptor. There's going to be an Omni Slash on Mirana. Mirana does finally fall down. And not today look like they want to get out of this one. They take down their melee racks, and that seems to be their only objective here. Something staggers up to follow those Timbersaw illusions, but the Disruptor is going to be able to get out of this one.
His BKB is down, so I don't think you want to risk anything at this point. And not today, clearing out a couple of the stacks that they still had left over for Soggy Myth. The Sven didn't have a chance to farm. And Slaughter's got a lot of money, up to 4,500 gold. Very curious to see what he decides to pull with that. I would imagine an AC, but with those items, it could be anything. Hard at Tarask, so all the recipe.
Still thinking about it. Interesting how he changed that Heart of Tarask recipe. Weird that mechanic.
I imagine he's probably just gonna pick up the rear and make sure he still has buyback for the time being, and finish it up later.
Soggy mid's down for the bottom lane, so they've taken down the tier 2 tower top. They want to get their last remaining outer tower of the game. Very quickly going to take it down with the Sven and the Juggernaut. Seem like Not Today are too interested in fighting this, but Mirana is going to do a little bit of chip damage. Starstorm Lincoln's gonna get broken, so that ultimate orb ended up building into that. Hit arrow on Juggernaut. That healing hardly doing lasting damage.
And they blink on all 3 cores now. Blink on Juggernaut, Sven, and Timbersaws. They have a lot of mobility, so if anybody's out of position, like
Mirana moves forward, gets that Lincoln's broken, and she's able to leap.
That was scary.
We're scared.
Oh, what a spin! That was close. The sleep expired just in time.
A miss on side, and we'll see what the time is that they decide that they want to go in on this. Assuming
And
Juggernaut
TP
needs
top,
to...
they decided to split push, and this is kind of committal because he doesn't have boots of travel for 30 seconds now.
Arrow just off the mark for Mirana, and here comes the blink in by the Juggernaut going for the Elder Titan. That would be a pretty big kill if they're able to get it off. He is pretty strong for this fight, but Sven is just going to go right for the tier 3 tower. Going to get used, but it's not very effective. It's just to the right.
Not that they're split pushing, they're already taking the racks.
Oh, Sven is getting stuck underneath the tower, and Sven is going to go right down. He's underneath the tier 3, and he's going to end up dying. This is the time for Soggy Mist to get out, and there's going to be Yule's Scepter onto the Winter Wyvern, and they're going to get this little bird absolutely wrecked. At top, Boker's just sitting here getting chunked down by the Juggernaut, and does end up going down to the Magic Man
1400 gold. 1400 gold going to the Timbersaw, which is kind of gets him real close to his next critical item, and they're really going to need it because they're already starting to take racks damage. Omni slash mid. Doesn't get the lucky bounces. Oh, but he does get to blink away and spins away as well. He doesn't get the damage that he wanted. Unlucky, a little bit unlucky on the bounces, but he stays alive.
So getting a little bit aggressive. Here comes the blink in by the Mirana, going right for the Timbersaw, but force staff back by the Juggernaut. I mean, sorry, the Disruptor onto the Juggernaut. Go, Timbersaw in the middle of everything. Crush in by Benchaz, doing so much damage with that crush. And here they go, going right on to Noble Wings, and Noble Wings, he's trying to chase down Benchaz. There's going to be the kinetic field not quite catching the Juggernaut. And he will also use the Manta Style to get rid of that Thundercloud over his head.
That heart is up on the starter, and you can see how much sustain is giving him. He was down to 10% health, gives it a couple seconds to get up, and he's ready to fight again. He probably never gonna have to go back to base ever again in this game. And he can constantly pressure the lanes and always be on the map. I really do like this pickup.
They're feeling pretty strong in this match. They've taken down the tier 3 tower in the top lane, so they have a naked Rax there. Tower at mid, well either. They have broken the base already, and they're possibly poised to take a little bit more.
Soggy Mist now.
Soggy Mist going for the smoke. Definitely want to stop this, and they could also go for the Roshan, which is about it a little bit. Good vision up. Gonna run right into the pit.
ET's nearby, so I would imagine is he gonna put a spirit in there? He was spotted out by the new ward, and he gets caught. Boom, bursted down by Swen so quickly. That's going to be giving up Roche. There's also a Basher up on Juggernaut as well, so if that gets a couple more lockdown and more opportunities to get a kill on Sven or on Slardar.
And Soggy Mitts have to be very careful of the push that's going. Joker's already there with the creeps, and he will finish off that range track. It's not a big loss for Soggy Mitts, but it is still a little bit more pressure in.
And with the laner racks down, I did say I would prefer not today. I would like Soggy's Mist lineup if they did lose a laner racks by 35 minutes, and it's cutting it pretty close. They lost the laner racks at 36, so I would say this game is still quite close and can go either way.
A little bit forward in the mid lane. Here comes the arrow. It will end up hitting the creep, but there is a crush by the Juggernaut. He's going to get silenced up, and Juggernaut is going to be dead. There is the God's Hammer onto Slardar, but Slardar is able to get out of this, and here comes Mirana looking for some more kills off of this one. Able to find anything else. The Juggernaut, a very big kill for them. Able to find anything. Throws out the tornado, and it just misses the Timbersaw, but there is another TP in. Could be out of his element right now. Able to use the Ghost Walk and get out of here. Trying to find the tower in the mid.
And the item that Timber started to go was a Shiva's. Does help him with teamfight a little bit, but not quite as much damage as some of the other options that are available to him. And the Aegis did go be picked up by the Timber Saw. There is still a cheese on Juggernaut, but he was stunned that entire duration, so he did not have a chance to use it.
Bring out the creeps. There is going to be a break of the Lincoln Sphere by Sven. They do have to be careful of this Invoker who can position top lane.
What a brave Mirana. Oof. Not scared at all.
Everything he can to try to take it out, though. Sunstrike is going to be there, but the dive away is in time. And here comes the Timbersaw just clearing out these creeps. Invoker continuing to put pressure onto the range racks. Oh, glimpse away by the Disruptor. He does not want him anywhere near. And Benjaz, he's going to get Winter Cursed up here, so that's going to be a little bit of an initiation. Arrow comes through. It does end up hitting onto the Winter Wyvern on the back lines. And Sven just runs at the Dire side. Look at the huge damage onto Benjaz. But the Elder Titan going to help him out. And, oh, here comes the glimpse. And Benjaz finds the crush. Another crush onto God's Hand. And Matthew, he's not got enough mana for the Static Storm. But God's Hand, he's just stuck here by the Invoker. And gold snapped up. Nice Fuels dodge. And, oh, Sven, he's going to end up getting taken down. He does have buyback. But the Juggernaut is going to go down. He's got buyback as well. But that's it. GG going to get called by Soggy Mitts. And not today, easily taking game number 1 as Benjaz, he hits the crush that he wants. He hits it just right in 40 minutes. Not today are going to take it.
Very impressive play in the last fight, especially by the starter, kiting the Sven, being very careful not to get him allowing you to get the Echo Saber hits off, and playing with him inside a disruptor static field. Really excellent team play and movement by Not Today in the last minutes. Never letting Winter Wyvern get off any of those critical ultimates, never giving him a single time to get any kills, and really shutting down a lot of the Phoenix ultimates as well. Very good positioning overall, and they closed it out pretty quickly here as well, under 40 minutes.
All right, that's going to do it for this match. Going to fix a couple of things with the stream real quick, so we'll go offline for a couple seconds, but we'll be right back in a little bit. So stick around, guys. Going to come back with game number 2 of this best of 3 set. I'm Pythian. I like you a little bit. Stay classy.